Hey everybody. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash that like button like it's your Alabama cousin, so it reaches a wider audience. Also before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor. If you're surfing the internet alone without a VPN, then you're surfing with Justin Skippy Trudeau. I use MetVPN to hide my location from the Canadian government, to keep my freedom of speech, as well as to sail the high seas and download movies and TV shows without potentially getting sued by lawyers. MetVPN offers unlimited data traffic, no logs, a kill switch in case your VPN temporarily goes offline, and it's only $2.45 a month on a 24-month plan. Keep your online activities private and free. Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the memes. Number one, this has to be one of the largest celebrity tragedies in our time. The next 10 years will be interesting for Elliot. Life is harder as a male, especially one that's short, not very masculine, and has no swing. All this trans stuff is being taken way too far. Remember that angry feminist from all those years ago? Well, here she is today. Moving on, a lot of people have been saying for years that the UN could assist in disarming US gun owners. It wouldn't end well for the UN peacekeepers, and most would never try and do it no matter how much they were being paid. Americans will laugh about this until the government eventually sicks drones and robots on them. Besides, the UN couldn't deal with mobs with machetes in Rwanda. Imagine what they'll do when the trees start whispering in Appalachia. Number three, here's a hero bird that saves a guy from a $300 ticket. That dove is a hero. I guess not all birds are government surveillance drones after all. Now they'll probably try and find that bird to force it to pay instead. Because how do you know if it wasn't the bird that was speeding and almost cost the guy a $300 fine? Up next, it looks like Americans are about to get enriched by the Jeets and Mohammeds. A Pakistani citizen was arrested in Canada because he was planning an attack in New York. And once again, Canada had no idea what was going to happen until the US tipped them off. This summer, 15,000 Jeets crossed the border from Canada to the US illegally. What do you expect from Canada when Trudeau handed a terrorist a check for $10 million? Number five, who cares what anyone says? Travis Kelce is not happy because he went from dating women with beach ball curved bodies to one shaped like an ironing board. Swift looks like she's built like a skinny 12-year-old boy. Either that or an 80-year-old man with no behind. But I wouldn't be worried because the contract he signed with Swift probably has an end date. Until then, all he's got to do is bang an ironing board. Travis definitely switched tastes. Moving on, the Respect organization says that they're trying to help men who are victims of domestic abuse. You complain to them that your wife is throwing plates at you and is violent. But instead of helping you, they ask you devious questions to see if they can frame you as the abuser, and it only usually takes 15 minutes. At the same time, women are telling guys to open up about their abuse and tell someone that'll help them. Meanwhile, if you tell someone, they're more likely to hurt you. Number seven, this trans individual says they are housewife material. More like asylum material if you ask me. But I think no amount of therapy is going to fix this. This is like eating some carrots and thinking to myself, you know what? I'm an effing rabbit. Sorry, sweetheart. Housewives don't get the bone for preparing 9-cent bags of ramen noodles. I don't care what this person does or thinks in their own time. Just leave the children alone. Up next, this woman's husband is making them fly home from their honeymoon because he found out that she sent a goodbye text on the morning of their wedding to her ex. Imagine being her husband thinking to himself, I'll marry an ugly girl because she won't cheat on me, and then he gets this rude awakening. She's posting this on the internet to make him look like the bad guy, who wouldn't let her say goodbye to the man that she really wants to be with because she's an alpha widow. Number 9 is a Daily Mail article about female pedo teachers. I suspect they do it because they can't find a man to bang at work because almost everyone in the school is a female except the janitor, and so they're banging their students instead. It's kind of like the same thing that happens with priests and altar boys. If you're in an institution where they don't have an outlet for their sexual urges, it comes out in new ways. Someone needs to teach these women not to grape. Moving on, here's the difference between girls in a relationship versus boys in a relationship. The woman has more access to cash and prizes while partnered up, while the guys that go their own way end up with tons of money without a relationship. Not to mention women who aren't in a relationship are more likely to be miserable compared to those who are paired off. This is inaccurate though because the women in the relationship don't have all the money because she will have spent it all. The only person actually saving money is usually the guy outside of relationships. Number 11, Harry says that this woman, the former chief of the Secret Service, has the same face and attitude of every woman that he's been with, and that's the bane of his existence. The lunch lady, the secretary, the HR department woman, etc. Yes, this woman is a copy-paste across all of society because women are basically NPCs. Notice that people don't say that they see the same types of men everywhere. Not only do you see this sort of Karen everywhere, but you also see her going back in time. Up next here we have a carnival float ride featuring Trump. If that was Kamala's head, the people creating it would be charged with advocating for violence. Also remember that Germany is a country dumb enough to turn off their nuclear energy and hates free speech. So it doesn't surprise me that they're promoting this. Besides, the Germans are known for ending people, so maybe they're starting to show their true colors again. Germany only puts people in jail for hate speech if it's against the left. Number 13, speaking of Germany, 95% of people can't figure out the mistake in the photo with this Volkswagen. But I see the problem. Looks like someone put a kettle in the trunk. In case you're wondering, the engine is in the back. Here's a cutaway version so you can see that engine. It's in the back because it's air-cooled. I don't know how comfortable I'd be sitting that close to the gas tank, though. Moving on, someone asked, do you support RFK Jr. replacing all the poisonous processed foods with healthy ones? Absolutely. Make America healthy again. But how much is this going to cost me? $10 an organic apple, perhaps. The Green Revolution is the reason that billions of people didn't starve over the last 50 years. This man doesn't know the consequences of food prices tripling if he institutes his plan. Number 15, this woman was arrested for allegedly ending a cat and then eating it in front of the neighbors. Not even the cats are safe anymore. Maybe now that all the Haitians in Springfield are consuming cats, maybe I should sell a shirt that says Cat Lives Matter. But it's not her fault. She's just a lesbian that wanted to eat some pussycats. This guy in Springfield was caught carrying away a Canada goose to consume it at home. Allegedly, it's always allegedly, even while they're carrying the evidence. Up next is Robin Morgan, and she says that man-hating is an honorable and viable political act. But imagine if a man said that women-hating was an honorable thing to do. There would be a backlash from women and probably canceled online and maybe even offline by losing his job. This woman says that she was being oppressed by men. So what does she want to do? Replace her so-called oppression with the oppression of males. Number 17, this woman says that a woman needs to ask her husband if he'd still love her if she got a sex change operation. And if he says no, then pack your bags, lady, and leave. Yes, women are allowed to do something unreasonable that impacts both people's lives in a relationship. But if you call them out on it, then you're supposed to be dumped because you won't validate their eccentric behaviors. If you're attracted to the female form, then it makes sense that you won't be attracted to your wife if she takes on a masculine one. The women saying this are trying to sabotage the lives of other women because misery loves company. Moving on, this guy says that he's not in the top 10% of guys that women would date. And he wants to give up because he's not genetically gifted or wishes that he had more money and feels like a loser. But having money won't solve the problem. It'll just attract gold diggers. Most average or slightly above average dudes can get women if they lower their standards. A fat 3 or 4 out of 10 with a 50-notch count, don't you know? You'll get action, but none of them are long-term relationship material. Number 19, the man on the left went on a rampage and ended someone and injured 22 others. But he's on the left, so he spends 0 years behind bars. Meanwhile, the guy on the right did the same thing and he gets 419 years in prison with a decade or 2 off for good behavior. Free speech is destroying historic statues and monuments, but putting skid marks on a rainbow flag is considered a hate crime. We have a 2-tier justice system depending on your political beliefs. Up next, someone says that a good woman is an investment while an immature girl is a bill. But finding a so-called good woman is near impossible in 2024, which means that most women are a bill you have to pay if you want to date them. I haven't met a good woman in decades, and the ones I have were all over 40 or 50. People say that good women are raised on farms or ranches. I dated a woman that lived on a farm and she was more corrupted than women in cities. Country girls are not your salvation. The closest you can get to a good woman is a dumb, uneducated woman with a low IQ. Number 21, Oprah reveals how she manages to stay stress-free at 67. Step 1, have $1 billion. If you understand female nature, then you know that women thrive on drama. So even Oprah is stressed out. I feel sorry for Stedman. He probably gets the brunt of her wrath. But at least because they're rich, they can both suffer in style. Moving on, here's an article. It says they were humiliating women when we out there cheating partners publicly. So if a man cheats on a woman and we point this out, we humiliate that woman because she couldn't keep her man happy, so he had to look elsewhere. We're pointing out that she's a low value woman and that her partner is a higher value man. We can't call out bad cheating men because it makes women look bad for not being able to control their men. Number 23, in nature, poisonous creatures develop bright colors to warn others of their toxicity. While that might seem like the reason they dye their hair these crazy colors, it has more to do with neonin appearing to look younger than they really are. After all, it's mostly children that wear such bright colors in the first place. Neonin is also the reason they wear oversized jewelry, giant sunglasses, to make themselves look like they aren't fully developed yet. Because for many men, the younger the woman, the better. Up next, the next time you hear that they're prosecuting Lauren Chen for getting Russian many to criticize the left, remember that the liberal leftist government in Canada gave 600,000 influencers to praise the Trudeau government. There's one set of punishments for violating the law for the left, and there's a separate set of punishments for violating the same law on the right. As for that 600,000, I promise you, that number is much higher than that. Number 25 and the last one, apparently Elon Musk is working on robot wives and will make women obsolete. This will solve the dating crisis for men, and Western women will have a cat lady crisis as men avoid them entirely. I think that every male that's got a brain can't wait for a society that's free from female influence and control. But this is probably just a stunt and won't work out like many of his projects, like the Boring Company and the Hyperloop. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep making it, then donate it to PayPal and subscribe star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.